Hi friends, hope everyone is doing great. In this video, let us learn what Superbrain Yoga or Topakarnam is, what is the connection between Lord Ganesha and the Topakarnam, and why should we do it, and the right way to do it. We all know Lord Ganesha is the chief of Ganas, that is the Panchabhutas. Every being in this universe is made up of Panchabhuta, the five elements, say Akash, air, heat, or light, the representation of heat, water, and finally earth. We pray Lord Ganesha in the form of Heramba Ganapati, who has 5 heads to signify the 5 Panchabhutas. So, the vital energy or the prana that's responsible for the entire universe to work is called by so many names as per how the energy is used in. We call Vinayaka or Ganesha as the remover of obstacles. So, it's a custom for Hindus to pray Lord Ganesha and then start to do any work to happen successfully without any obstacles. The human brain is a central organ of the human nervous system, and with the spinal cord makes up the central nervous system. The brain consists of cerebrum, the brainstem, and the cerebellum. We know that we, the microcosm, are nothing but the miniature version of the macrocosm. So within us, the Ganesha is nothing but our brain. Now let us get into the connection between Lord Ganesha, our mindset, and the brain. God's power is always within us. We are ever connected with it. All we can do is to increase its presence. It can be done either by doing the kriyas or meditation. Lord Ganesha is also known as Vignahatta, meaning the one who removes obstacles. He is also called as the Shubkarta, meaning the doer of good. So, the secret behind Lord Ganesha's worship is that he has to be worshipped who wants to do the work, not the one who is lazy or who has no idea of what to be done. Because he is the Lord of doer. So Lord Ganesha has to be invoked before starting any work for the completion of it successfully without any obstacles. In our school days, for our naughtiness, we have been given a punishment of doing sit-ups. It's not a punishment, but it's a remedy for the naughtiness to subside and the proper functioning of our brain to happen properly. We can notice the same action to be done in front of Lord Ganesha every morning after taking bath. There are 2 important parts to be noted in our brain, namely the hippocampus and the neocortex. Our memory part is completely dependent on the hippocampus. They are 2 in number, and when pressing the earlobes, it activates the hippocampus. The next comes the neocortex. The neocortex is a set of layers of the cerebral cortex that's involved in the higher order brain functions such as sensory perception, cognition, generation of the motor commands, spatial reasoning, and language. The neocortex plays an influential role in sleep, memory, and learning processes. Ancient sages have a deep understanding of the body, both physical and subtle. In order to make the entire human race benefit from their yogic powers, they have devised so many kriyas and yogic practices for the benefit of others. One such kriya that's very popular among the Indians is the Topakarnam or the Dobikarna. When we pray to Lord Vinayaka, we should be clear of our vision as what we are going to do and what outcome we expect for the prepared action. And we should be ready to get into the action. So Vinayaka prayer should be done with proper prepared action and request for the good happening of that action to happen and for the desired result. So without a proper preparation, there can be no vision, and without a proper vision, there can be no action possible. So only the people with a good vision is the right person to pray Lord Vinayaka. So the concept behind the prayer of Lord Vinayaka or Ganesha is to make the mental state and the brain's capability in a steady state and to keep it alert. So praying Lord Ganesha is like seeking the help from both the microcosm and the macrocosm, that is, from within ourselves and from the universe. There are three kinds of memory, namely perceptual, emotional, and induced. There's another kind of memory that can be termed as the cosmic memory, which can be developed through the visualization process. Every happening of our life is decided as per the impression that's stored in our memory. So the impression of good and bad, the desirable and the undesirable impressions of memory are stored in the hippocampus. It's the true blessing of the sages who have imparted the knowledge of the simple kriyas and prayers that can effectively handle our mind. The undesirable impressions that are stored within our memory can be erased by doing the meditation. By praying Lord Ganesha during the Topakarnam, unknowingly we are doing the visualization process of creating good memories. The benefit of creating good memories in the conscious state is to safeguard ourselves from not landing into a bad situation. So summarizing how to prepare ourselves mentally for doing the Topakarnam is to keep our mind alert, sincere and aware, but never to be serious. The prayer to Lord Vinayaka should be done with proper prepared action and request for good happening of that particular action and for the desired result, not when simply wasting life and time. Hope now you are clear with how to pray Lord Vinayaka mentally and what are the benefits and how it is to be done exactly. Now let us get into the Kriya of Topakarnam for clearing the channels within our physical body and the pranic body. Now let's learn the Kriya step by step. The best time to do the Kriya is the Sandhya Kalam, that is, during the sunrise and the sunset. It's more better to do after taking bath. In the morning, stand facing the sun, that is towards the east. Now keep the tongue firmly pressed into the roof of the mouth, that is the soft palate. Place your left hand on your right earlobe, thumb on the front of the lobe with fingernail facing outward and the second finger behind the earlobe. The right earlobe represents the left brain. When you hold the right earlobe this way, we energize and activate the left brain and the pituitary gland. Now place the right hand on the left earlobe so that your thumb is on the front of the lobe facing outward. The left earlobe represents the right brain. Holding the left earlobe this way energizes and activates the right brain and the pineal gland. Press both earlobes simultaneously, making sure your left arm is inside your right. As you press the earlobes, squat down as fully as you can, keeping your back straight and legs crossed for the Mula Bandha to happen while squatting down. Do 14 sets maximum, inhaling through the nose on the way down and with the tongue on the palate while inhaling and exhaling through the mouth while squatting up. Mula Bandha means a posture where the body from the anus to the navel is contracted and lifted up and towards the spine. The root refers to the root of the spine and it creates an energetic seal that locks prana into the body and it prevents from leaking out from the base of the spine. Mula Bandha moves the prana into the central channel called Sushumna while practicing. Such a yogi attempts to reach the true source of Mula or the creation. This is the true traditional way of Topakarnam, that is, keeping the legs cross-legged for automatic Mula Bandha to happen. These are the steps for the Super Brain Yoga or Topakarnam as devised by Master Cha Kok Shu. Now let's look into the benefits of doing the Super Brain Yoga. The super brain exercise or the Topakarnam is said to be based on the principles of subtle energy and the ear acupuncture. The practice clears our energy centers or the chakras and integrates the intuitive and the emotion based right hemisphere of the brain with the logical left hemisphere. It rejuvenates the brain. During the super brain yoga, as during meditation and deep relaxation, the brain waves sent out are mostly alpha that are in sync. This enables the meditating person to be alert, creative, and in great control of the body and the mind. Holding the earlobes by cross changing the hands is a shortcut for connecting the positive and the negative life forces. And while in that position, by doing sit ups, the vital veins are stretched and the nerves in the spinal cord connecting the brain trigger the tender nerves in the brain, which effect multiplies the brain's power. Immediately after completing the Topukarnam squatting part, what we do next is the Pilayar Kuttu. In front of Lord Vinayaka, after doing Topukarnam, we knock our forehead and the sides with our knuckles. This is called as the Pilayar Kuttu. The vibrations of Pilayar Kuttu have some effect on two important nadis. The primary nadis called Ida and Pingala. The typical gentle knocking on the forehead is for activating the chakras in the head, namely the Ajna and the Sahasrara. Now let's see what are the benefits of doing the Pilayar Kuttu. The executive functions of the frontal lobes that are activated by doing the Pilayar Kuttu by knocking the forehead involves the ability to recognize future consequences resulting from the current action. That is, to choose between the good and the bad actions, override and suppress unacceptable social responses, and determine similarities and differences between the things or the events. Therefore, it is involved in higher mental functions. It's rightly called as the God spot because stimulation here gives people intense feeling of joy and the sense of being close to some greater power or being that is one with the universe. So please understand that by doing the Topukarnam, that is the Super Brain Yoga, along with the Pilayar Kuttu, helps us overcome the problems associated in these areas and stimulates the brain and aids us towards the self-realization and the brain attunement. Finally, after doing the Topukarnam and Pilayar Kuttu, we do the self-rotation or the circumambulation in front of Lord Vinayaka in temples. In temples, strong energy is radiated from the inner sanctum. If we rotate clockwise, our body's right side aura will be enriched with energy. Little more than that will make the person move southward. If we do reverse, that action will make more rajasic, which has to be avoided. When doing the Atma Pradakshinam or the self circumambulation, we keep our hands over the chest in Namaskar pose. It activates the frontal lobe. Scientifically, when we use our hands consciously, we are activating 50% of our cerebral cortex, that is mainly the motor cortex. All higher functions of the brain, such as thinking, planning, and decision making, involves the cortex. So, to control these executive functions, the hands play a key role, and that is the purpose of mudras. To control the state of mind and to make it peaceful, concentrated, creative, and imaginative, mudras plays a very important role in yoga. Thank you. See you all in another useful video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.